as I don't know how many of you have read the piece that I wrote for the paper this morning, but I think it's very, very important for New Zealanders to have their say on this, just to get involved in it and to learn more about our constitutional issues. Because speaking personally, and the panel is independent, we probably would disagree. We don't actually discuss our opinions on all of these issues because we are a process panel, not a content panel. But speaking personally, one of the most disappointing things, I suppose, as I go around, especially with younger people, is that a lot of the feedback we get is, we wish we learnt about this in school. And there is a lot of cynicism out there about our political process, about our politicians. And I believe that if people learnt more about this in their education system, they might feel more engaged in what goes on in the political process. It's not hard to learn. It's interesting and it's very important. Things like the rule of law. Everybody must obey the rule of law, no matter who you are. The police must. MPs must obey the rule of law. So I think that people should have their say and people should get involved. And I know that it's the hope of everyone on the panel that this will continue on beyond us, beyond the current government, and that no matter what happens, that good will come out of it. So I'm happy to take questions from anyone, and I'll endeavour to answer them as best I can with Andy's help. And thank you for listening to me. Kia ora.
Just through you, Mr. Chairman. Just a question. Like you say, at the present time, I'm trying to get my mind around this. That the Constitution is some over there, and then covered some over there, covered some over here, and this covered. And at any time you choose, debate, I suppose, you just go to that cupboard for that particular subject and whatever. If it was written in, say, a booklet like that, Constitution, and accessible by the public, I mean, it's still, if you wanted to have a say on it, or even if you wanted to implement it, which would be another process. If you go to a because you object because it's contravening the Constitution, I would expect getting access to some organisation that will address your concerns. Is that part of your brief? Where do you go to? Do you go to Prime Minister? Do you go to the Minister of Moral Affairs? Do you go to address this Constitution?
One of my hopes personally, and I think that there are a number of, I've taken it back to the panel and we've discussed it, and it came from a suggestion at a meeting, was that as the treaty, there's a website for the Treaty of Waitangi, that we had at the very least, we end up with a website, a New Zealand Constitution website, that has all of our Constitution on a website, okay? So that you can go to it. So if you Google New Zealand Constitution, you come up with this website, and it has everything you want to know. Like, so if you think something might breach the Constitution, you can go in there and find out, and it has links to everything that's in that cupboard and that cupboard and that cupboard, sort of like that's. So, does that answer your question?
Yeah. Because in a lot of instances, not most instances, when legislation or whatever is written, trying to access, say, well, who do I go to? Who do I see? Because I want to talk about a certain aspect of it. Normally you're going to hire a very expensive lawyer and lodge an application into a court or whatever. Constitutionally, you know, we as citizens of this country should be able to access that constitution.
Well, you could have links to cases and all of that sort of thing, or judgments and things like that.
Thank you, Walter. Alan, do you have a question?
Thanks very much for the presentation. There's certainly fundamental governance, like separation of church and state, that we're a secular society. Those sort of things embedded already, or are those things that future governments are reviewing?
That has come up in submissions. Is that a constitutional issue?
Absolutely. It's, some overseas international constitutions have either the separation or the inclusion of church and state as part. And yeah, we have been getting submissions.
Yes, I've noticed in submissions that's been
So,
going on.
it's not written down anywhere at this point in time.
No. As far as I understand.
As a matter of English law, you know, you're saying things were in different places. So that's part of the problem, is there isn't a list, a handy list. So I think some of this is already contained in judge-made law.
Yes.
Okay, one more question.
You mentioned that the panel's role was a content panel. I mean, it was a process panel, it was a content. So when you received all the submissions, are you responsible for processing them and coming up with some result from that?
Yes, sorry, I should have told you that. Thank you for reminding me. We have to make, by December, we do a report to the ministers, and it's a recommendation report on what we see are the important issues which we recommend should be taken forward.
Thank you, Liz. Thank you, Peter. It's something we all need to know something about. I have to own up. It's not an issue that I've delved into too much myself, but I will from now on. Thank you very much for coming and presenting to us.
I'll just show you, we've done a fun sort of video, and if you don't know much about it, you will know everything about it
I've
at
seen the stuff on
university.
TV.
So it's very short, and there's a whole lot of resources here, which can we leave it? Yes, which we'll leave for you. And give your friends and do you want to play the video?